I am called Beatrice Guzu. I work with the National Union of Women with Disabilities of Uganda as the Executive Secretary. The situation of women with disabilities in Uganda is, first of all, the double marginalization as a woman, culturally, and then when you add on disability, it makes the situation worse because culturally, women are supposed to be taken important because of the bride wealth they bring to the family, which a disabled woman is not able to. A woman in Uganda is supposed to own the property from the husband, but because a disabled woman cannot get married, that means she can't own any property from the husband, so that makes her poorer than an ordinary woman in Uganda. The other issue is also in Uganda, boys are preferred to be taken to school in terms of formal education. But with the disabled girls, it is also, the situation is worse because now nobody can take them to school, therefore most of them are illiterate. So that makes them even not to know issues to do with development. For instance, if somebody is to give them support in terms of either providing money or even training, you need to start from the very lowest level, introducing to them what actually money is. John? Yes.
I'm Kirsten Nielsen. I'm working as a development worker for the National Union of Women with Disabilities in Uganda. I'm employed by Disabled People's Organizations Denmark. I'm here to facilitate the partnership between those two organizations and support the project implementation. The first project we got was in 2002, where we supported Nuvudu in getting out in the district, getting to mobilize women with disabilities in the districts, giving women with disabilities the opportunity to get together, to form a group, to talk to other women in the same situation. In 2004, we managed to link Nuvudu together with an organization of women with disabilities in Denmark, and together they designed a project, and they actually got funding for a 2-year project which could sort of continue where we had stopped, but going a little bit deeper within the districts. And that was, at that time we met the women in Kamuli.
I am Nachesa Joy, working as Program Coordinator, Kamuli Discrimination of Women with Disabilities. Kamuli is a rural place. It is about 100 kilometers from Kamuli to Kampala. Okay, as a Program Coordinator, Kamuli Discrimination of Women with Disabilities, our work has been to move to sub-counties and sensitize women with disabilities to form groups. And after they have formed their groups, we organize trainings, and we normally carry out advocacy and lobbying. We need to involve these women together with the local leaders and even with the service providers, how best can they help them. And sometimes also we organize workshops and sensitize them about the rights of persons with disabilities. because if we don't sensitize them, they may stay at their homes and don't even demand for what they're entitled to, and you also go and monitor. By that time, women with disabilities were taken as charity. As disabled women, they were being marginalized by the community, discriminated. They were not recognized as people. Few women were married, and their life was not good. They were in bad conditions. They had bad shelter. Their children were not going to school. These women, some were almost starving because they were depending on family members and even some community members who could give a hand, bring food to them, even fetch water. So the situation was alarming.
I think it's very difficult for a Dane to imagine how life is for a disabled woman in Uganda. It's difficult for me, even that I live here. It's difficult for educated Ugandan women. But the isolation of these women is extreme. They are surrounded by pity, by negative expectations, and they just have to sit and wait for the mercy of somebody to give them food, to give them something. And to really imagine what that does to yourself, we fail to get it really, because we are used to have food and security every day, and we start from a wrong point of departure. So we are trying to start where these women are, and that's what the project was designed to do. Yeah.
We had to start by, first of all, explaining to the women to understand the need for them to come together, to work as a group, because that's the only way their voices can be heard. Then, of course, after that, we now went further to do capacity building for the leadership in terms of training them on how to manage the group. After they had acquired how they can manage themselves, holding regular meetings, drawing plans, then we said now we can introduce to them the importance of having an income-generating activity. And the aim of doing that is to make the group sustainable, or to make them continue even when we are not there.
And we told them to start with what they had. By that time, they were making mats. And the support we first got from World, it was 100,000. It was little money, but it helped the women so much that that money worked as a capital, a starting point for them to buy poultry, and they start rearing poultry. By that time, it costed 3,000 each. So they had like a 20, and they were selling some eggs as part of the income, and they were saving also some money. So when they had many, like 60, they sold off and remained with 10, and they bought goats. And they reared goats for 2 years, and when these goats also produced, and they had sell off some goats and bought a cow. So their project started like that, from a hen to a goat, then to a cow. That's what they are doing, and even agriculture. They grow their food, they have vegetables, and even fruits, and some of them, they sell them to earn an income for the day. In 2007 up 2008, we were funded by Nwodu. We had a project, Entrepreneur and Leadership Skills. So in this entrepreneur, women were trained in so many skills. And in one of the trainings, we happened to invite a certain lady. She's from the same village. She had the knowledge of making arts in papers. And this art paper is helping them so much to get income because they are being sold. People come for them when they are going to have parties, even at your home for decoration.
I've really realized that in Uganda you have to start with making the women feel safe and secure, that they know that tonight they'll be able to feed their children, and tomorrow you can even buy the few things they need to go to school. These are the most important things for the woman with disability in Kamuli. And there I think I tend to think we can start at a higher level. We can start with rights and equal opportunities and active participation in meetings, but that would be the wrong way to start. Actually, today in Kamuli, you see these women are starting themselves. Some have even become members in the local council, and others are going to the local health center and trying to sensitize the health workers there, tell them that women with disabilities also give birth to children. They also have sexual needs. They need advice about family planning, stuff like that. They have actually done that themselves.
In the empowerment of women, in some situations, in some cases, have actually brought problems within the family. You know, culturally, in Uganda, women are not supposed to talk in the presence of men. So that's why we had tried to separate them, to try and see that they can gain confidence. But that has caused problems in some places. For example, when you provide financial support to a woman with disabilities without involving the man, then the male relatives, they take it to be that is the project of that woman, so they have nothing to do with it. So even if she's not there, the animals will not be looked after. That's why we are trying to change the approach and say that maybe we need to bring the men on board to explain to them the importance of this kind of training and why we are targeting women in particular, and also seeking for their support.
Now these ladies, their lives have changed. They are living a good life. Some even have managed to construct shelters at their home. You know, they used to stay in these houses looking like shrines. But now they have those with the iron sheets, and even their children, they are taking them to school, to schools where they pay school fees, they are paying. And there is also one lady who has educated her child up to university level. So their life really has changed, and they are being recognized. They no longer look at them as charity. They are recognized as full participants in the community. These days, men are proud of marrying disabled women. And this saying of how people say that they used to have sex by chance, not by will, but this time it is by will because they are being accepted by their husbands.
going to Kamuli and meeting Joy and all the other women with disabilities is really encouraging, and it gives me a lot of inspiration personally to see what they have been able to overcome. And yeah, I realized that there are quite some things I may could overcome myself as well. And in work, it really supports me and gives me the strength to carry on and to keep making projects and try to convince people in Denmark that this is important to support. Yeah, it's really encouraging and inspiring.